Supreme Rising family. Uh, it's in the evening now, so typically I do it early mornings while the kids sleep, but the kids are asleep now, so I'm going to get this in while I can because the boys will get up early in the middle of the night. So let me go on and get this in because the mission has to be done. Source has us on assignments to do what we got to do, and we got to show up. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go into power 6 of the power of the divine feminine, which is compassion, justice with mercy. Point 1. Compassion is strength, not weakness. Many think compassion is softness, but true compassion is fierce. It takes more strength to forgive, to uplift, to see beyond someone's mask than to punish or condemn. Compassion doesn't mean excusing harm. It means choosing the higher response. The teaching point of this section: compassion is the courage to meet pain with love without losing your power. Point 2. Justice balanced by mercy. Justice alone can become cruelty. Mercy alone can become chaos. True compassion is justice with mercy, holding people accountable but not stripping them of their humanity. The scales must always balance, truth on one side, love on the other. The teacher point for this section: justice without mercy is tyranny. Mercy without justice is weakness. Compassion is the balance of both. Point 3. Seeing with the eyes of the heart. Compassion sees beyond the surface, beyond actions, into causes. Many who harm others do so from unhealed wounds. Compassion doesn't ignore the wound, but recognizes it while still naming the harm. It's the heart's ability to say, I see why you are broken, but I would not let your brokenness break me. Teaching point: to see with the eyes of compassion is to see the wound without becoming the wound. Point 4. Compassion for self. Sovereignty, power 5, requires responsibility. But compassion makes sure you don't turn your crown into chains. You cannot give compassion to others if you deny it to yourself. Self-compassion is the soil where forgiveness, healing, and new beginnings take root. The teaching point for this section: the same mercy you cry out for from heaven, you must learn to give yourself. Point 5. The fire of righteous anger transformed. Compassion doesn't kill anger, it purifies it. Anger and compassion becomes righteous fire. It protects, defends, and restores without destroying unnecessarily. This is the energy of prophets, warriors, and truth speakers who correct with love. Teaching point: anger without compassion burns bridges. Anger with compassion builds justice. Number 6. Healing through compassion. Compassion is a healer. It binds wounds that judgment alone cannot. Many souls cannot rise from shame until they are touched by compassion. To walk in compassion is to be a living balm in a wounded world. The teaching point for this section: when compassion flows, even the deepest scars can close. Point 7. Compassion as cosmic law. Every great teacher, whether Christ, Buddha, or the ancestors, taught compassion as the highest law. Because compassion is the energy that keeps the cycle of justice from becoming endless war. Without it, karma becomes a prison. with it, karma becomes liberation. The teaching point for this section. Compassion is the key that unlocks the will of suffering. Now, closing out Power 6. Compassion is not weakness. It is the highest strength. It is just as sharpened by truth, but softened by love. When you walk in compassion, you become the bridge between heaven and earth, showing others that justice can heal and mercy can restore. Be firm, but be kind. Be strong, but be gentle. For this is the true balance of power. So, pretty much overall synopsis of it. Through everything that goes on, using compassion is the highest power. Of course, setting your boundaries. You must set your boundaries so people don't overstep, because they will, and they will try. But you show up with compassion to not only bring it back into even the fences, but to settle your energy. You meet people where they are, you see how they are, and you know, this does not align with me. I'm good on that. You have a wonderful life. The compassion, for what I'm hearing in this particular teaching, is more about self than the person. Because remember, everything is within inner self. So to have the compassion to pull back and to understand that the energy that if I reflect it is going to affect me more than it's going to affect the person, because at the end of the day, I will have to deal with this. So I'm going to move with compassion. I'm going to be firm about it. I'm going to be handling and standing on my business, but just know this does not align with me. And because I am in alignment and you are not in alignment with me, I must depart from you. And that's pretty much the wrap up of that one. So that was the closing of Power 6. So now we're going to get into the last power of the Divine Feminine. And in this power, this will be talking about the stars. Let me give you the exact title of it. Oh, it's a lot of information that I was taking in. It's been eventful with this, to say the least. So the last one is Cosmic Law, which is the stars, the time, and the rhythm. That will put all of the powers together of the Divine Feminine. For those who deny, regardless. I was on a post where I seen a lady had posted something from an old clip. I forgot who the lady name was, but she was Muslim. And she was stating that, women is the real reason why the black man leave the house, and they need to be more nurturing and stuff like that. And the woman said on her post, yeah, I agree. I said, no. Everything is balanced. Regardless of how you feel, everything is balanced. In order to stay on this stabilized plane and keep the course, it has to be stable. You cannot have one without the other. People can't say that it's only a divine masculine. You have to have a divine feminine. Otherwise, women wouldn't be here. So there has to be a balance. As I talked about before, women is the creator, the men are the protector, and together you build a union. And so with that understanding on the same basis, because pretty much what the power of the Divine Feminine been showing us is that everything is balanced. You cannot have one without the other. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of what you was taught, everything is balanced. So with the compassion part, with the justice and mercy, is that the justice part, you see the situation, you stand on your business, but I'm going to give you grace. I'm not going to give you that energy. I just know that I have to nip it in the bud. Point blank, period. So now, the last power that we're going to talk about will be cosmic law, which is the star time and rhythm, power 7. And then we're going to get into the next topic, which is how to reclaim what was removed. And in this section, which is a whole different series, what we're going to really be talking about is the reading that suppressed text with intention, calling on Sophia, Ashera, Magdalene in prayer and meditation, restoring balance in family, community, and self, honoring body and womb temple practices. That will be the next part of the series. So as always, Supreme Rise into the Flame family, Spirit team, I speak truth, only truth, and Ashe, 11:11 on the clock, the code.